Hey people, look who's back again. Boofy's back. Tell your friends. Hello and welcome to another segment by myself. I am Jonathan Booth, and today we're here to discuss in what way does my media product use, develop, or challenge form of real code of convention for my media product. Now, code of conventions of a thriller is technically the same. The stereotypes of a thriller film, what they always show, like in like a horror thriller, blood, knives, and a predictable storyline in some sense. But I believe our product does challenge some of those code of conventions. First, let's start off with our costumes. I believe our costume, some of it does follow the code and conventions of a thriller film. For example, with our mask, we used a mask as our murder disguise, but in a way that there are many people wearing masks during our opening sequence, so you cannot really tell who the murderer is due to the fact he's wearing a mask, which is seen in a variety of thriller films such as Saw. There's a mask being used in that. That's Saw 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And especially in Scream. That's in all the Scream where the mask is like the main figure of the character. With this being said, we also challenged it in a way because we used the mask on every character which is being shown within the opening sequence. Therefore, it's not predictable on what character is actually the killer, as the same mask being worn by the same person. So therefore, you have to assume in a way which character is wearing what. Therefore, this does also develop the use of our costume because, like I said, it's been used before, but we use it in a different way. Therefore, we enhance the way and challenge the way and added a new dimension to the way that mask could be shown in a film. Also, we actually did challenge the conventions of a thriller film with our costumes because everyone was either suited and booted because it was a high school party. Everyone wanted to look slick, therefore people came in suits. Now normally in thriller films, people wearing like their casual clothes like hoodies, tops, and that kind of stuff. Therefore, I believe that we challenged this completely by adding a more sophisticated feel to our opening sequence by everyone wearing suits and looking slicked out. Next, on to our settings. In the horror films, you normally see a spooky house or some hall of a party or some sort, but we challenge the code of conventions of this in our thriller film. Firstly, we started with a dance hall, but you can't tell it's a dance hall because it's blacked out where people are just having fun, partying, dancing, getting to know each other and enjoying themselves. And then, so therefore, we can't really tell if we challenge or develop the code of conventions of this product because technically a hallway and a hall is always used in thriller films in some sense. Therefore, we can't really suggest that we challenged it or we developed it. But this being said, where one of the murders take place, which was in a hallway, you could say we did challenge the conventions of a thriller film because normally in thriller films there's like either done outside or in a bedroom, while we actually did it in a hallway where people can actually see what's going on. This being said, there's also cameras involved in our hallway, therefore there's actually recording of this murder. Therefore this does challenge the convention of a typical thriller film because normally nobody who actually can see what's happened in this, while in our one, someone has actually seen this murder. Therefore I believe we have challenged and developed again the convention of a typical thriller film as the audience wouldn't expect this going to happen in our thriller film. Also, in our thriller film we use a classroom as well, which is just basic because classrooms aren't really used as murder scenes or just a scene in general in a thriller film. Therefore I believe that we did challenge it, and we challenged it very well because it added a new dimension to our film. The audience expected it, and now the read, to be honest, and it worked out very well. Next, onto our props. Our main prop was our murder weapon, to be honest, and it was a knife, which therefore use and follow the main convention of a thriller film, and I believe that in some cases you do have to follow this thriller film conventions, because if you don't, you lose the aspect of actually being a thriller film. Therefore, I believe we did this, but I think we've done this in a way that the audience won't be surprised by, and that they can appreciate we did that. Next, on to our characters. We had a vast amount of characters in our opening sequence, but it will change up a bit, so therefore you only mainly see two main characters. One's a killer and one's a protagonist. In other words, a protagonist and an antagonist. Like, you can't tell what's going to happen, because we did follow the conventions of a thriller film, but then again you can't because due to the fact that you don't know what's really going on, you can't tell who the characters are, what's their motive behind it, so you can't really suggest at this point of time that we're following all challenging the conventions of a typical thriller film. Now onto our narrative. Our narrative was something different, something that I've done before. Our main narrative was about a presidential election, then having a party scene celebrating the win, and then the murder scene. This being said, this does suggest a motive to the character, but in my opinion no one has done this, because although there was a motive for the killer, which is a typical development of a convention of a normal thriller film, the fact that it is actually a presidential election and they lost it, and then that is his motivation, is something new, something different that's not been done before. Therefore, I believe we have challenged the convention of a normal thriller film, as normally there's a different motive behind a murder, such as to my girlfriend, he's dissing me behind my back, that kind of stuff. I think we challenged the convention as we did a different aspect of what his motive was behind the murder. Now finally, onto sound. We use a variety of sounds during our thriller film. We did challenge it in some sort, as we did put in party music in our thriller film, which is not really seen much in the typical thriller film, because thriller films are always seen as serious, mysterious, spooky kind of things. Although we use party music, which gives the audience something to not expect from it, because they believe, oh, it should be quiet, spooky, what's going on. But with this, as like I said, it adds a new dimension to our thriller film, because it's unexpected by the audience, and when they see the cut into the serious music, the tension music, they think, oh wow, what's going to happen next? And that's why I believe that we challenged, and then we developed as well a convention of a thriller film, which I believe that can be added into future thriller films. Thank you. I've been Jonathan Booth. Peace.